Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblix here, and today I want to talk to you about the Time Force status. How y'all doing today? So, this is not the box it comes in. This is actually a Wolf case. Wolf makes fantastic cases that are ridiculously overpriced. But this is how I got this watch. I did buy it used off the watch exchange. Somebody just didn't want it, and it looked like a pretty cool piece, so I picked it up. And this is how they shipped it to me, because he didn't have the original box. So, pretty good deal. I got a very nice case that I would not have bought myself, because they're wickedly overpriced. But let's take a look. And we pop this guy open, and there we go. The Time Force status. Nice. So let's get this guy out. And off of the pillow. Now this is a 5020. It's the actual name is the Time Force Status 5020 or 5020. It is an automatic, and it is using the Seiko, NH35A. Pretty common movement in a lot of quality yet value automatics. How about that? Is that a good way to put that? You'll find it in some higher end pieces. You'll find it in some mid tier and low tier pieces. But it's a good all around go-to automatic movement. So it is 316Ls. Surgical grade stainless steel, so they're using the good stuff, and it is black PVD coated. So that really nice shiny black should hold up pretty darn well. It's a mineral crystal, medium thickness, not super thin, but not real thick either, and it is sapphire coated. So to give you a little extra scratch resistance beyond just the basic mineral. This is what's called an open heart design. I think this is the first open heart I've showcased on the channel here. Make sure that focuses in, and you can see right there the window where you can watch the spring and the gears turning. That's pretty darn cool. I really do like those. As opposed to a full skeleton where the entire face is open, and allows you to see a whole bunch more of the mechanism. This just shows you the actual spring that holds the power reserve, if you will. So it does have a display back, and it is full 316 all the way around. No decoration, other than the TF there in the center. Now they do what I really like, where they put their logo on the side of the watch. I've really gotten to like where manufacturers do that. I think that looks pretty darn slick. It's kind of wasted space otherwise. So if they don't have some decorative thing going on over here, to make sure that they have something, I just think it really adds to it. It is a silicone strap. It's flexible. I wouldn't call it soft. It's actually a little bit rigid. Like I can't really squeeze it here, but it feels good. It's very slippery in the hand, and it's not bad at picking up. It doesn't really pick up a lot of hair and stuff like a lot of them do. And when it does pick up, you just brush off and falls right away. It is water resistant down to 10 ATM or 10 atmospheres, which is basically around 100 meters or 333 feet. So it is not a screw-in crown. It is just a push-pull. You can wind. It is windable. Right here at the all the way pushed in, you can just rotate it and you'll hear it clicking. Yeah. and there it is, you're actually winding the movement. So if you let this sit in your watch case for a while and you pick this bad boy up and it's not running, you can just give it a couple good winds. You go ahead and set it and walk out the door, and it'll your motion will keep it wound the rest of the day, but that'll give it a quick little jump start. And of course the second pull is how you actually set the watch, and it is hackable in that it does stop the second hand when you pull the crown. The second hand stops moving, so you can precisely set it to the atomic clock if you so choose, which is what they mean when they say hackable. It's got a really nice smooth movement on that second hand, which a lot of folks like. It's got a gorgeous purple face, really deep in color. So it's not a real bright purple, it's a really deep, pretty purple. I would call it minor branding. I've actually seen some people complain about the face branding, saying it's too big. I don't see that much any bigger than anybody else. Maybe because it's at the 3 o'clock instead of up at the 12 o'clock. Maybe that's what's putting people off. I really don't see it being that big, to be honest with you. And their logo's not a bad logo, so I'm cool with it. And it does have applied, down, or it has the word atomic painted down there in white. It does have applied indices all the way around. In silver, look really nice. Match the hands. Got these nice spear point hands. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. That complication right there. That complication ticked off a lot of Watch Gang members. Now, this was a black tier subscription long before I joined. I believe it was one of the first ones, if not the first one, ever released. And let me tell you, to this day, I still hear people read people in the Watch Gang Exchange complaining about that complication right there. Now, there is another Time Force watch that was released. That guy there. Yeah, I got them both. And he raised some hackles as well, but we'll talk about him on another day. We're going to stick to him for right now. Let's bring y'all back in. If you notice, this complication is labeled 1 through 60. And you immediately think, well, that's seconds. But you notice it's not moving. The second hand is sweeping. Yeah, wanted to make sure it was still sweeping. It has sat in a box for a few days, so the power reserve was a little low. Had to charge it up. But that guy's not sweeping. What it actually is a 24-hour indicator. So it's tracking the phase of the day that you're in. So as let's see, let me pull this out, get this back where y'all can see it. As I move these hands about the day, you'll see that those 24-hour hands are actually moving as well. See that? We come up on noon. So we're sitting, our main hands are sitting on noon, hour and minute. But you notice that complication is pointing straight down. That is telling us you're halfway through the day. That's noon. So as we continue on, it will continue on progressing throughout the day as well. So we hit 6 p.m., about right there. And you can see it's 3/4 of the way done through the day. So see, even though it's labeled 60, 1 through 60, it's actually, think of it like a 24-hour indicator. That's a much better way to think of it. I don't know why they labeled it 60. It's kind of crazy. Now, Time Force has a name for this little funky complication up here. They call it the day phase indicator. Looking at their manual from their website, that's what they're calling it. It's in essence a 24-hour clock. But it is trying to illustrate to you the point in the day in which you are. I don't know why it's labeled 60. That just is weird, but it is weird. I agree with most of the members there. But if you notice, as I move the hands forward, it moves forward slightly. So we're up, through a quarter of the day. We're heading into closing in on half the day here, which will be at noon. So there's, the hands are at noon. The day phase indicator is all the way down. That tells you you're halfway through the day, so you're at the noon hour. That's what it is, and it is a little bit goofy that it's not just labeled 1 through 24, which is, if they had done that, I think a lot fewer of the Watch Gang members would be annoyed with the brand. Take a quick look at it on the wrist. And I think I mentioned earlier it was a Seiko NH35A movement. It is not. I made a mistake. It is a 39, NH39. But that's a great size on the wrist. And I tell you, these straps feel pretty darn good. They are going to be hot in the summer, as all silicone will be. But it is a good looking piece on the wrist. It has, dual keepers. They're both loose, or both free float. And there it is on the wrist. Pretty good looking, I gotta say. Nice size. I like the size a lot. And that purple really stands out. It's just a little hint of decoration on what is otherwise an all black watch. Take a look at it on the scale. Let that guy tear out. There we go. And what are we looking at? 4 ounces. So it is a little heavier than some of the ones we've looked at, but it's not a heavyweight either. Put the calipers on it, and you guys get an idea for how big it actually is. Going across the short way, we're looking at a 44. So it is a bigger piece, but not huge. With the crown, you're looking at a 48, and lug to lug as we can get it, you're looking at a 52. Now they are screw-in lugs, you can see right here, but it's not really a standardized band, so you're really not going to be replacing it anytime soon. Or throwing a NATO strap or something like that on it. You'd have to find something specific to this. Now, a little bit about Time Force. There's a weird history there. So, they were founded as a Swiss company back by a Swiss person in Switzerland back in 1991. In the Walbach, in the city of Walbach. Somewhere along the way, and their website does not go into the backstory. I bet there's an interesting story there. But they started, releasing watches around the globe, and somehow they ended up in Panama. So from 1999 through 2014. They were producing down in Panama, which is, I'm pretty sure, where this guy came from. More recently, in around 2014, the Swiss side of the company and the Spaniards down in Panama, and I believe they were Spaniards, at least that's what their website states. So I don't know where the Spaniards came into the mix. As I said, it's a really kind of convoluted history. But the Swiss and the Spaniards got back together and are now producing watches in America. What? We're going to start in Switzerland, end up in Panama, we're going to marry back together and make in America. I don't get it. But this is directly from their website. So I'm going to take it on a little bit of faith, but man, it is definitely peculiar, to say the least. Alright, there is no loom on this guy, so no loom shot for you. Sorry about that. What you get is what you get. What would I use this guy for? Well, he's a good, everyday kind of wear piece. If your office is a little bit more casual, he'll work out there. If you're working outdoors, he'll work out there as well. That water resistance is going to be a big benefit, and the fact that it's a silicone strap when you're out there sweating and getting grimy, pick it up, rinse it off, and it's going to be good to go. I wouldn't wear it anywhere that's going to get dark or that you're going to be, needing illumination on a watch, because obviously there is none, so you're out of luck there. Now, this guy retails on the Time Force website for $469. Would I pay $469 for this watch? You crazy. Absolutely not. I can think of 1,000 other watches I'd rather buy for that price. I paid $50. Would I pay $50 again? Absolutely. For $50, it's a great watch. The 60 complication, what is it, day phase indicator, it's wonky, but it works. The numbering is weird to me, but once you know what it is, you read it, no problem. I don't know if that's just a Latin American thing. You guys that have experience with Latin America, let me know if that's, how they read 24-hour time, by 60s instead of 24. 60-hour time? I don't know. It just seems a little odd to me. Something was lost in that translation, I think. But I do like the piece. I mean, it's very comfortable and it's very good looking, I think. I'm not generally into the all black PVD, but it sure does look good here with that beautiful purple in there. It's just a little tiny pop of color, out of the corner of your eye kind of thing. And the silver applied into C's and hands, and the application around the day phase indicator and the open heart is really, really good looking. And all the little bits and pieces you can see down in the open heart is very cool. So I really do like this piece. And if I could find it again at a reasonable price, if something were to happen to this one, yeah, I'd pick it up again. But definitely wouldn't pay the $469. So, yeah, Time Force gets a lot of crap in the Watch Gang Exchange forum, or on the Facebook page. But, it's a little quirky. I like a little quirky. I'm good with that. You guys have seen, quirky things that I like. So, I'm okay with a little quirky. I can deal with it. Alright, that is all I've got on the Time Force Status 5020. Sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me, talk about this bad boy. And until next time, you guys get out there and make some noise. See ya.